The 2021 Queensland Architecture Awards are proudly supported by BlueScope, Dulux, Brickworks, Lysart, Fielders, Bondor, Bosch, Built Environment Channel, NBS, Plant Cover, Architecture Media, as well as Queensland chapter partner Hutchinson Builders.
Well, good evening everyone and welcome to the 2021 Queensland Architecture Awards. I'm your host Viv O'Connell and it's my pleasure to join you once again in this celebration of architecture across Queensland. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of lands across the state. I acknowledge the wisdom of elders, past and present, and pay my respect to elders and to communities. For those of you joining us tonight who are new to the Institute's Architecture Awards, they're regarded as the most prestigious in the design and construction industry. And the awards process here in Queensland is a little different from the other states and territories, in that all the projects we'll see tonight have been assessed at a regional level. Across 7 regional awards programs, the chapter received 107 projects for consideration, ranging from small renovations right through to large public buildings. 78 of these projects have been considered by the Queensland State Jury for tonight's awards. And of course, all the projects that receive awards and named awards this evening will go through for consideration for a national award to be announced in November this year. And now, to get the evening underway, it's my pleasure to hand over to Queensland Chapter President, Michael Lavery.
Thank you, Viv, and good evening, everyone. I would like to start by talking to our clients. I think it's helpful to understand the context and rigour of the Australian Institute of Architects Awards program. Every project entered in this year's awards is judged against a set of core criteria. Included amongst them are items such as the response of the work to your needs as the client, the value and effectiveness of decisions made in relation to money, the sustainability of the project and the benefit of the work to the environment, the relationship of the built form to context and place, and the project's public and cultural benefits. So whilst it can be difficult at times to describe the experience of great architecture, I think that you can see that the rigour and value of the work can be known and is well defined. I think it's also clear that every project, every great project, has had a great client. Your commitment to the work, your collaborative input, and your commitment to your architect makes you one of architecture's great advocates. On behalf of the profession, I would like to thank all of our clients. I would also like to thank this year's State Jury, Eloise Atkinson, Chair of Juries, Shai Tay, Deputy Chair, Lada Bodnarak and Dirk Yates, State Jurors. There is no greater commitment to the profession than to be asked to judge the work of your peers. Your rigour has been exemplary. Thank you. There's nothing left to do now except celebrate Queensland architecture.
Yes, indeed, Michael. Let the celebrations begin. And you're joined there by a lucky cat. Good luck to all the entrants tonight. Well, we are, of course, coming to you live tonight and hoping to cross live to the winners of the named awards, which are the highest honour in each category. So, if you're an entrant who's in the running, please keep an eye out for our Skype call. The timing is tight tonight, but we'd love to have a quick word about your project. Before we move on to the awards announcements, we have one very important local prize to announce, which is the Queensland Emerging Architect Prize, as the winner is considered for the National Prize, which will be announced later in the year. This prize recognises an individual or collaboration's contribution to architectural practice, education, design excellence and community involvement, advancing the profession's role within the public arena. The jury this year was chaired by Chapter President Michael Lavery, and he was joined in the deliberations by Genevieve Vella, Lihan Jans van Rensburg and last year's winner, Ellen Buttrose. And so, without any further ado, the 2021 Queensland Emerging Architect Prize is awarded to Tamarind Taylor from Conrad Gargett. Tamarind engages, educates and advocates as an expert in the promotion of heritage architecture to the broader public, whilst contributing to the architectural profession through research, leadership and as a mentor for emerging architects. This is exemplified by her nuanced, heritage-focused work across multiple institutions and disciplines. Her position as an Associate and Heritage Project Lead at Conrad Gargett, her volunteer work in Myanmar with the Yangon Heritage Trust, and as a researcher with contributions to international heritage journals. Congratulations, Tamarind Taylor. And I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Tamarind Taylor. And Tamarind, it was a bit of a wild ride there. I saw you in the car. I think you've just come from a meeting on site. Is that right?
Yes. I haven't even had a chance to get changed yet. Literally just came from the Steelworks factory. Again, doing more heritage work I love and looking at how we put together all the flashings and tin work. So
fantastic.
Very much roller coaster getting here.
Well, look, I'm glad you found a light room because when you're in the dark in your car, I was worried for a moment, but great that we've got you.
Yeah.
Now, the jury citation, of course, specifically references your work on heritage projects. Can I ask to begin, what is it you love about that kind of work?
Oh, it's just one of those things that my actual background before architecture was animation and film. So I just love storytelling, and heritage places inherently have stories within them that you want to investigate. And I just love working with the layers, the materiality, and a lot of things that we just don't use now, and techniques and craftsmanship, which really want to preserve for future generations.
Oh, excellent. Background in film. Maybe you can come and host the awards next year.
Hopefully that would be nice, but yeah, maybe not as bad as this as I'm driving here.
Now, of course, I think it's caught you by surprise that you've received the EAP this year. Can I ask, what does it mean to you to receive this prize?
Oh, it's absolutely fabulous. Like working with my team at Conrad Gargett, like it's a lot of blood, sweat and tears, but getting that recognition and feeling that accomplishment as well, that I'm helping represent the industry and the work that we do is a real big honour.
And I can imagine you've probably got a few people you might like to acknowledge or thank.
Yeah, so of course, first and foremost is my family, mum, dad, my sister, who's currently in Helsinki. Like, they supported me through multiple careers and down this path. Then I guess the initial people I worked with at Tonkins Alika Greer, Julie McKenzie, was very influential. And at Conrad Gargett, the whole heritage team, so David Gold, Simon, multiple Lukes, we've got 3 Lukes, David, another David, and Ben and all that. They've just mentored me wonderfully and encouraged me on all sorts of opportunities and exploring different avenues. So.
Wonderful. Well, look, congratulations once again. Now, you are, of course, going to represent Queensland for the National Emerging Architect Prize. So all the very best with that. No pressure at all. But for now, I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope you have a great night.
Thanks. You guys too. Cheers.
Hi, we're Vivian, and you're watching the Queensland Architecture Awards.
Thanks for that shout out, BVN. Well, as the members may know, 2021 is a significant year for the Institute of Architects, marking 90 years since the institutes in each state and territory came together to form the national voice for the profession. To mark this occasion, the Queensland Chapter's Heritage Committee, including the 2020 Gold Medal recipient Don Watson, has put together an overview of recent Queensland architecture. They would like to acknowledge that these projects are located on lands that were cared for and inhabited by First Nations people, the traditional owners and custodians of country for millennia, and that the Institute's members continue to learn, live and work on Aboriginal land.
Queensland has a history of innovation and resourcefulness in responding to our climate and social needs, which has led to built forms with specific regional character. From the convict building of the windmill in 1827, through the colonial public buildings and the development of the iconic Queenslander House, this architectural heritage was developed for a century before the inception of the Queensland chapter of the Royal Australian Institute of Architects. Since 1931, this legacy has continued. These buildings represent the work of all 8 Queensland recipients of the Institute's Gold Medal, many award-winning projects, and other buildings which demonstrate the role of architects in successfully interpreting the needs of their time. They illustrate the response of Queensland's architects to the state's changing needs over the past 9 decades, through depression and a world war, post-war modernism, reimagining subtropical housing, conservation and sustainability. As the Queensland chapter of the Institute enters its 10th decade, the challenge is to celebrate and continue this legacy, respond to our changing environment, and commit to upholding the level of architectural excellence in Queensland produced by our past and present members.
Well, thank you once again to the Heritage Committee for putting together that snapshot. And a small correction, Don Watson is, of course, this year's gold medalist. A big shout out to Don if you're watching. Thanks again. Well, as we get underway with the awards announcements, I'm delighted to be joined now live by the jury chair, Eloise Atkinson. Hi, Eloise. How's it going?
Hi, Viv. Great, and thanks so much for all the work that you've done this year in hosting the awards announcements.
Oh, always a pleasure, always a pleasure. Great to see so many fantastic projects spread right across the state. Now, you, as the chair of juries for the Queensland jury, obviously had your work cut out for you. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like to be on the jury this year?
Oh, look, Viv, it's been a great pleasure to work with the state jury, and I'd really like to sincerely thank my fellow jurors, Shai, Lada and Dirk, for their insight, intelligence, commitment, candour and good humour mostly. We've had some really fantastically robust deliberations and conversations, always respectfully, often about my driving. But without doubt, the highlight has been the opportunity to visit, as you said, the 7 regions across Queensland. It's an opportunity that we missed out on last year, obviously, with COVID. But this year we've been able to go as far north as Cairns and as far west as Winton, which has just been, fantastic. And of course, we couldn't do all that if we didn't have 65 regional jurors who helped out at that regional level. So I'd like to take the opportunity to thank each and every one of them for being part of the awards. And also, we've had quite a lot of changing of the guards at the Queensland chapter this year, and I'd really like to thank Anna Blake for her assistance. It does take a lot of administrative work, and she's been learning on the job with the rest of us, so she's been fantastic. And I guess just lastly, I'd want to acknowledge the wonderful guidance from last year's Chair, Richard Colson, and also all the other previous chairs who we really have leaned on a lot for their experience and knowledge. The Queensland Architecture Awards are going into our 35th year, and I would have to say that it has been extraordinarily collegial this year, and for that I'm really grateful.
Oh, fantastic, Eloise. Now, I know in the regional awards programs, Alice Hampson, who of course is the national president of the Institute of Architects, made a special reference to the fact that Queensland covers a vast geographic area and several climatic zones. Can I ask you, bearing in mind that great variety, were there any common themes that emerged in this year's entrance that you and the other jurors assessed?
Yeah, it's certainly worth, if people haven't had a chance to look at Alice's commentary on Queensland in some of the regional awards, it's certainly worth going on YouTube and having a look. Look, I think there were some common themes. Obviously, the diversity does require and inspire extraordinary diversity across the state as well. We had a particularly strong year in education this year, and also in public buildings, but particularly in the regions, which is interesting. And of course, Queensland always delivers a large number of very beautiful residential projects, so that's been a highlight. I think one of the things that we've really found in this year's selection is the commitment to do more with less, and that's been right across the state. And sometimes that's out of necessity, obviously, but often there've been healthy budgets where it's been the client and the architect who've really worked hard to build just what's required. Really appreciate that. You'll see some beautiful images tonight of how landscape and vegetation has been incorporated into projects, from small projects right up to the large public buildings. And on a lighter note, we did find out from the residential visits that Ottolenghi's cookbook Simple is certainly a bestseller.
Yes, I can vouch for that. I think it's in my kitchen as well, Eloise. Now, we saw some images of some of the clients in Michael Lavery's speech a little earlier. Do you have a message to wrap up for the clients and also everyone who entered the awards this year?
Yeah, look, I have to say, watching the collegiality and the connection between clients and their architects, particularly, I guess, in the regions and not just on residential projects, has been really fantastic. I've said it at a number of the regional events. As you mentioned, Don Watson, who's the gold medalist this year, said in his acceptance speech, he reminded us that risk is at the core of architectural practice, and removing or avoiding that risk is a recipe for mediocrity and irrelevance. And I think, every day architects and clients take risks, but perhaps putting your project up for peer review and is probably one of the greatest risks that we all take. So I guess it's just been such an honour to hear all the stories throughout Queensland, how projects came to be, the challenges and joy that both the architects and clients have had, and the real difference that good design makes, not just in the lives of the clients, but of the greater community. So I'd just like to say on behalf of the state jury, we'd like to congratulate all the entrants, regardless of what the outcome is tonight. We'd like to congratulate them on their work, on their courage, and of course for participating in Queensland's architectural program.
Hear, hear. Well, thanks so much for those words, Eloise. I'm looking forward to having some chats with the named award winners tonight. So I might leave you now to enjoy the rest of the night. Have a great night.
Thanks very much, my people.
The first category is the COLORBOND Award for Steel Architecture, supported by the Institute's principal partner, BlueScope.
Out on the patio we'd sit, and the humidity we'd breathe. We'd watch the lightning crack over cane fields, laugh and think, this is Australia.
COLORBOND, made by Australia.
And to say a few words and introduce the nominees, I'd like to hand over to Cherie Taylor from BlueScope.
Thanks, Viv. Good evening to all, near and afar. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate all of this year's Queensland nominees on your amazing projects. On behalf of BlueScope, I thank you for all of your support specifying our products like COLORBOND steel and TrueCore steel in your projects. Our relationship with industry is a partnership, and we are proud to be the Institute's principal corporate partner, an honour which we have enjoyed for 36 years. Over the past year, we have all risen to overcome challenges by learning, adapting and finding new styles of working. The high standard of your latest projects that celebrate Queensland is so evident. BlueScope takes great pride in supporting and assisting you with projects like these. We love seeing the ongoing innovative ways in which our products are used to address design challenges within projects supporting our communities and enhancing the built environment. Unfortunately, we can't all be together tonight face to face. However, we are all here with our passion and spirit to celebrate yet another exciting year in Queensland architecture. We would also like to take this opportunity to mention our latest innovation, an online colour selection resource that we developed last year specifically to support architects. Within this COLORBOND steel studio, you can choose from a huge range of over 200 proprietary COLORBOND steel colours and finishes across the spectrum, with all the durability you have come to trust. Now, let's take a look at the fantastic projects that have been shortlisted for this year's COLORBOND Award for Steel Architecture and reveal the Queensland 2021 COLORBOND Steel Award recipient.
Mod West, the University of Queensland, by Drummond Architecture. Jam House by Biscoe Wilson Architects. The Gap State High School Science Learning Centre by Biscoe Wilson Architects. Our House Wandle by Design Plus Architecture and N. Veenstra. Calliope State High School Stage 1 by Biscoe Wilson Architects. Roma Hospital Redevelopment by Jacobs. 111 Campbell Street by Sims White Architects. Caldwell Performing Arts Centre by Biscoe Wilson Architects. Hay House by Williamson Architecture. De Style House by Northerly Aspect Architects. And Land 121 Facilities Project Lavery Barracks by BVN. Well, 11 great projects from Central and North Queensland, the Gold Coast and Northern Rivers, Darling Downs and West Moreton, and of course, Brisbane. And in this category, the jury have awarded a commendation to Mod West, the University of Queensland by Drummond Architecture. And the 2021 COLORBOND Award for Steel Architecture goes to Land 121 Facilities Project Lavery Barracks by BVN. Building forms are simple and economical, with sophisticated manipulation of a restrained palette of materials to achieve well-resolved detailing applied in a well-considered, standardised approach throughout the precinct. Materials and finishes are contextual with recent projects at Lavery Barracks, reinforcing a cohesive visual quality. Profiled Zincalume cladding and steel is integral to the architectural expression and meets sustainable design objectives, including natural ventilation and enhanced daylight. Congratulations, BVN. And I'm delighted to be joined now by David Kelly and the team at BVN. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
David, would you like to introduce the members of your team that you have there with you?
Yes, I've got Jeff Hare on my left. Jeff was the project director for the project, and Charlene Gang, who was one of the architects who worked on the project.
Fantastic. Now, BVN, I understand, have had a very long association with Lavery. I believe it dates back to 1999. Is that right?
Yes. We've probably done about 5 or 6 projects there over those years. That's continuous involvement there for about over 20 years, as you say. It's been a fantastic project.
And how does this fit in with that body of work that you've been working on there for Defence?
Look, we started off doing some housing there, living in accommodation back in 1999, and we progressively, innovated and developed the language of architecture we've been doing there. But it's always been with the focus on sustainability, natural ventilation, fairly robust buildings, but always mindful of the fact that the men and women of the ADF make great sacrifices for all of us in times of natural disasters, cyclones, floods, etc. So what we are always mindful of is transcending what can be fairly mundane briefs, particularly vehicle workshops in this case, and try and imbue all of the buildings that we do with a sense of our qualities of space, light, natural ventilation. COLORBOND obviously helps us get around some of the tight budgets that we have, but also its inherent qualities of robustness do help us to achieve our goals very efficiently.
I understand that Defence have described these buildings as setting a new benchmark for facilities at the barracks. Can you give us a bit of a sense of, I guess, how these buildings have been embraced by the Defence community?
Look, one of the key issues was sustainability, and certainly around natural ventilation. So it is Townsville, it's the dry tropics. It can get very hot in summer, but what we have tried to do is design buildings which can work in mixed mode, and they do. And we're often surprised when we go up there to find that we think the air conditioning has been turned on, and in fact it hasn't been. So certainly the working conditions are very, very pleasant for most of the year without the air conditioning running, which is a key concern for us.
Wonderful. Well, this project now, of course, goes into the running for the National COLORBOND Award for Steel Architecture. So all the best with the national jury's deliberations on that score. And I might leave you guys now to enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to the team at Fulton Trotter for that shout out. The next two categories are urban design and sustainable architecture. And it's my pleasure to hand over to Deputy Chair of Juries, Shai Tay, to say a few words and introduce the nominees in these two categories.
Thanks, Viv. This year in Sustainable Architecture, we saw projects of different scale across the region, demonstrating sustainable strategies embedded in the design from the outset, and a commitment to do more with less. In urban design, it's evident the connection between culture, people, and the land we inhabit is celebrated through the works. And now, let's take a look at the nominees.
QUT Campus to Country by BVN. Cornwall Street Affordable Housing by KO & Co Architecture. Channel Street Studio by Anna O'Gorman Architecture. The Eminence by O'Neill Architecture. Mod West, the University of Queensland by Drummond Architecture. Land 121 Facilities Project Lavery Barracks by BVN. JCU Ideas Lab by Wilson Architects with Clark and Prince. And Big Small House by POD, People-Oriented Design. We'll begin with the announcements for urban design, where the jury have awarded the highest honour. The Carl Langer Award for Urban Design goes to QUT Campus to Country by BVN. Campus to Country is a strategy to help the Queensland University of Technology's decision-making when developing its two campuses to reflect, acknowledge and celebrate the relationship between the university's built environment, Aboriginal people and place. Framework plans were developed for each campus based on the history of the Turrbal and Yagara people. QUT has one of the largest cohorts of Indigenous Australian students, and this work goes a long way to ensuring that the university's built environment is one that is inclusive and welcoming. Congratulations, BVN. Yes, congratulations indeed to BVN once again, and I'm now joined by Kevin O'Brien. Congratulations, Kevin.
Thank you very much. I think you can hear me there?
Yeah, I can hear you now. That's fantastic. Now, Kevin, can I ask firstly, whereabouts are you this evening?
I'm at Stradbroke Island at Point Lookout. Working very hard, I might add.
Oh, well, you know, I wish I was there. But to the matter at hand, what a fantastic project this is. Can you give us a sense of what QUT's vision was for this project?
Yeah, look, it was a fantastic opportunity. QUT, probably one of the leading institutions to step up and have a good go at trying to connect their campuses to these ideas of country. It's quite a complicated and complex thing to do. So I was very pleased when they approached us almost a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now, to start thinking about this work, how to make their campuses embrace ideas about country, how to put these ideas into their ongoing master plans, how to guide the work, how to influence how they think about things. So they're really, I think, at the forefront so far on what I've seen around the universities at the moment.
And I understand from the jury citation that this was a highly, consultative and collaborative process?
Oh, look, absolutely. From the top down, so we had PVC Angela Leach, who PVC Indigenous, who really drove this project on the QT side with Margaret Shield, the Vice-Chancellor. And then we had a fantastic group of people from the facilities management led by Jeff Dennis and Emily Banks. And then in terms of production from QUT, Adam Davies, Simone Wise, Keisha Thompson helped put the final document together. So there was a lot of people involved, and of course, none of this is possible without guidance and leadership from the local elders. And in particular, we were lucky to have Uncle Chegg, who's the elder in residence at QUT, and he was instrumental in making sure we didn't go off track and realised, what we're ultimately trying to do is connect people to the place they live in.
And Kevin, can I ask, what is it that you hope will be the long-term legacy and impact of this project?
Look, I think the main ambition is that it's to help everyone get a better understanding of the thing they belong to. It's very easy for us to get caught up in owning things and products and all that sort of stuff, but ultimately we're responsible now, whoever we are, where we're from, for the place we're living in. And one of the best things we can do is take care of it and reverse a lot of damage that's been done. So for all architects out there, it's cultural, but it's also technical. So we have to start looking after this country we live in.
Well, hear, Kevin. Congratulations once again to you, to the university, and to absolutely everyone who was involved in this extraordinary project. I'll let you enjoy the rest of the night.
I forgot the team. I meant to tell you the team. So it wasn't just me. There's a lot of people at BVN. There's Bridget Ty, Charlotte Canning, Jenny Carey, and of course Brian Donovan. So that was a good group at BVN. We're the sum of parts. It's not just one.
They sure are, and I hope the team is celebrating back at BVN HQ with David Kelly and everyone else. Congratulations to all, and I hope you all have a great night.
Thank you.
And in the category of sustainable architecture, the jury have awarded 2 commendations and the named award. The commendations for sustainable architecture are awarded to Big Small House by Pod, People-Oriented Design, and Mod West, the University of Queensland by Drummond Architecture. Congratulations to Pod and Drummond Architecture on those commendations. And the jury have awarded the highest honour in this category, the Harry Marks Award for Sustainable Architecture to JCU Ideas Lab by Wilson Architects with Clark and Prince. JCU Ideas Lab is an innovative 3-storey building with good interconnection between the collaborative spaces. The architects engaged sustainability principles, evident through the provision of well-insulated cladding materials, extensive screening and the use of greenery throughout. The building strongly responds to the tropics and in addition incorporates significant energy-saving systems and water efficiency features. Sustainable and delightful, the jury commends this building as a great example of an architectural outcome that is respectful of its context, occupants and tropical environment. Congratulations, Wilson Architects with Clark and Prince. And Hamilton Wilson joins me now. Congratulations, Hamilton, to you and the team.
Thank you very much. It was, say Clark and Prince, shout out to Clark and Prince. We couldn't have done it without them, our Cairns-based architects, and we couldn't have done it without JCU's vision in looking towards a much more sustainable future.
Excellent. And Hamilton, I did see a couple of members of your team as we were lining you up for the cross. Did they want to pop back in and say anything, or are they having drinks out there?
They just didn't work on the project because I was surprised to get this award. So there you go. Come on in.
Yeah, gather round. It's all a celebration.
Maddie as well. Yeah.
Hello, team.
That's embarrassing to think I was squeezing people out, but we were talking about something else.
No, not at all. I mean, well, this is the named award, the highest honour for sustainability, and I understand that the project team set a very high benchmark that you were aiming for in terms of sustainability objectives with this project. Can you give us a bit of background to that?
Yes, well, the university have set themselves a very high standard. So we were working to a LEED's a rating system, and we just felt that was probably pushing the university a little bit higher than other systems at the time. So, I think JCU and the tropics are really trying to sort of position themselves as a green sustainable university in that region. So, I can't commend them enough to investing in that, because it's never an easy thing when it comes to value management to not give up on good sustainable initiatives, and JCU were not willing to compromise. So it's a great outcome for them.
Well, the jury was certainly effusive in their commentary about the sustainability successes in this project. Have you had any response from the university, or indeed the building users, about what it's like to work in this building?
Well, I mean, I guess it's the whole idea of sustainability, I think, is looking towards a much more humanistic approach to our future. So it's not just simply are there solar cells on the roof? It's very much about, is it actually a comfortable building to live in, and is it actually good for and fit for the purpose? And in this case, it's about innovation. So we were looking at sustainability initiatives that actually could contribute very much to wellness, and this idea of biophilia as a deep fundamental driver in pursuing those levels of outcome.
And you've given a shout out to Clark and Prince, who were, of course, your collaborators on this project. Is there anyone else that you'd like to acknowledge?
Well, Rachel Argent, from the project manager from JCU, and of course the whole JCU team as well. It wouldn't be realised without them. We're very fortunate.
Excellent. Well, look, congratulations to you, the team, the university, and of course everyone who was involved in this exceptional project. Thanks for joining us, Hamilton and the team, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Well, thank you very much. Extraordinary surprise. Thank you.
Hi, we're Archie, and you're watching the Queensland Architecture Awards.
Thanks for that shout out, Archie. Very cute. And now to the category of heritage, where 3 projects in the Brisbane region have been shortlisted. Let's take a look at the nominees. Chambers House by Sean Lockyer Architects, Cummings House by Archie, and The Terrace by Sean Lockyer Architects. And in this category, the jury have awarded one commendation. The commendation for heritage goes to Chambers House by Sean Lockyer Architects. Congratulations, Sean Lockyer Architects. Moving on to small project architecture, supported by the Institute's national supporting partner, NBS. And I'd like to hand over to Michael Hogg to say a few words and introduce the nominees in this category.
Thanks, Viv. Hi, everyone. Congratulations to all those that have entered. NBS is a connected information platform that powers construction. Our mission is to use technology to make the built environment more effective for everyone. We're delighted to be supporting these awards in the architectural profession. Best of luck to all the entrants. And now, let's take a look at the nominees in this category.
Channel Street Studio by Anna O'Gorman Architecture, Ulster Lane by Cameron & Co Architecture, Doggett Street Showroom by Cavill Architects, and James Cook University Central Plaza by Cox Architecture and Counterpoint Architecture in association. Well, 4 great projects ranging from Brisbane to North Queensland, and thanks for your message, Michael. The jury have awarded a commendation for small project architecture to Ulster Lane by Cameron & Co Architecture. Congratulations to Cameron & Co. And an award for small project architecture goes to Doggett Street Showroom by Cavill Architects. This project has transformed an unremarkable cottage that had little relationship to its 2 frontages into a beautifully detailed and spatially sophisticated building. The existing timber cottage was lifted and renovated to create a charming workspace. The undercroft delivers a light-filled, flexible space that can be additional living space for the upper floor or can be occupied independently for commercial use. Key to this project is the integration of landscape that adds both surprise and livability to this compact project. Congratulations to the team at Cavill Architects. And the Hayes and Scott Award for Small Project Architecture, the highest honour in this category, goes to James Cook University Central Plaza by Cox Architecture and Counterpoint Architecture in association. JCU's Central Plaza is a charismatic addition to the campus that provides a pivotal public space. The plaza contains a pavilion with a modest footprint, accommodating small gatherings and operating as a stage for large events, while the roof canopy of the pavilion reflects the history of the university and is amplified by the integration of the artwork After the Flood by Quandamooga artist Megan Cope. The artwork illustrates how environment, identity and geomorphology are interwoven over time and reinforces this as a memorable gathering space. Congratulations, Cox Architecture and Counterpoint Architecture in association. And I'm joined now by Richard Coulson from Cox, and it looks like the entire team. Congratulations. And very nice to hear Eskimo Cho as well there, barking in celebration. Nice. Now, Richard, you were, of course, last year's Chair of Juries for Queensland. How does it feel to be receiving the highest honour in this category?
It's a great honour. We're delighted. We think this is a category that really does showcase some of Queensland's greatest architectural strengths. So it's an honour to win it. Thank you.
Excellent. And now this is, of course, in the small project category, but it's a very important project. And I understand that it's an essential component of the transformation of the Douglas campus. Is that right?
That's right. We were fortunate to assist JCU in their master planning in 2017, and this was a modest project that emanated from that, but it has been a way of tying the campus together and providing identity for a regional campus, and that's a pretty important thing, actually.
And the extraordinary artwork by Megan Cope. Can you give us a bit of background as to how that came to be part of this project?
Yes, well, the team, including JCU, were always keen to have an art component to it, and we're assisted by UAP that acted as curators there, and there was a competitive process. But to be honest, Megan's work really did speak to the design that the team had created, and it really does fit very well together, explaining the local landscape of Cairns and the Indigenous voice up there.
And oh, sorry, go ahead. It's a good mood in the room. I love it. Have you had any response, Richard, from the university about how it's changed the campus, and particularly, I guess, how the students have responded to it?
Yes, well, they're very excited. They continually tell me that there was going to be a wedding there, except for the COVID mania, and they still hang on that idea that happens. But we've seen students there using it informally, and the university uses it more formally for their end-of-year lectures, and so it does work as a gathering space that has a great institutional presence for them. So we're delighted with that.
Terrific. And before I let you go, anyone you'd like to acknowledge or thank who was involved in this extraordinary project?
Well, for a very modest, small project, it took a lot of hard work from the Cox team. They're here, and the Counterpoint friends up north. Woolham's did a magnificent job sticking with the guns on this to deliver it, and the JCU team were very ambitious about this project from the outset, and we had to rise to meet their ambitions, and I think they're very proud of what's been achieved by all.
Excellent. Well, look, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations to everyone involved once again, and I'll let you enjoy the rest of the evening there.
Thank you.
And we will be back with the next round of announcements after these messages from the awards sponsors.
The future of construction is digital. Data is transforming our lives, our work, and the way we create. Get ready to digitise and embrace the future together. NBS.
The shape is called a catenary shape, and it's the same shape as holding a string. So if you were to hold a string, it will form an arc, and the arc is called a catenary. If you flip it up the other way, so it goes upwards, the pressure that pushes out equalises with the pressure that pushes down. So gravity is balanced in perfect harmony. And that means that the load of the brick is evenly distributed down to the ground.
When it's time to build on quality that's proven in Australia's harsh environment. Build on Lysart, steel roofing and walling. Style. Experience. Excellence. You have it all when you choose Lysart, steel roofing and walling. Insist on the best. Insist on Lysart.
You're watching the Queensland Architecture Awards.
Thanks for that shout out, Pod. The next category is interior architecture, where the regional juries shortlisted 5 projects, ranging from Brisbane, Darling Downs, West Moreton and North Queensland. And to say a few words and introduce the nominees, I'd like to hand over to State Juror Lara Bodnarak.
Thank you, Viv, and hi to all. It was my honour and pleasure to be in this year's jury. I particularly enjoyed the opportunity to visit so many great projects, including an amazing range of interior architecture nominations. And these are
Transurban by Cox Architecture. Mary Rice Early Learning Centre by M3 Architecture. Flex by ISPT by Cameron & Co Architecture. Ray White Toowoomba by Feather and Laurie Design. And the Mercy Centre, Mater Private Hospital, Townsville by Peddle Thorpe. Thanks so much, Lara. In the Interior Architecture category, the jury have awarded one award and the named award. The award for Interior Architecture goes to Transurban by Cox Architecture. Transurban's biophilic Brisbane office is a successful collaboration between the architect, designers and client to create a workplace reflective of Transurban's global presence and culture. Unlike typical workplace design, the workstation density is low and a high proportion of space has been dedicated to collaborative areas. This is a case study of contemporary workplace design that emphasises sustainability, inspires creativity and fosters community. Congratulations to Cox Architecture. And the GHM Addison Award for Interior Architecture, the highest honour in this category, goes to Mary Rice Early Learning Centre by M3 Architecture. This project is a successful adaptive reuse of an underutilised site. The result delivers a stimulating environment for the children to learn through experience. The architects used the metaphor of city placemaking as a planning framework to support the social, physical development and behaviour patterns of the children. The playful assemblies of materials, referenced from the existing site, adds a layer of wayfinding and fun to an interior setting that inspires the imagination of children and parents alike. Congratulations, M3 Architecture. And I'm delighted to be joined now by Ben Viel and Joseph Papalata from M3 Architecture. Congratulations.
Thanks, Vicky. So it's a real honour to have won this award, and we're super proud of the project. It's a labour of love, really, and a really difficult building for us to work in. But having found a lovely way of working within what is otherwise quite a difficult building to love, we've found a great outcome, I think, for the client.
Well, it certainly sounds like your team is happy. I think they've just worked out the 20-second delay thing and heard the announcement made. Good that you've got a happy team there. Now, I understand from the jury citation that your approach to the interior architecture in this project had very strong links to the school's educational philosophy. Can you give us a bit of background to that?
Sure. So the school chose a Reggio Emilia approach to their early learning centre, which is one that's child-focused and focused on the child as citizen. And so we took that fairly seriously as an idea and made the project about the children at children's scale, a city at children's scale. And the project sort of combines the idea of the child scale plus city at child scale plus a very idiosyncratic building, really, on a campus that's quite expansive. And together, these ideas form the project.
And I have to ask, what do the kids think of it?
From all accounts, I think it's a successful project. I think from what we've heard, they've really loved the expansive external environment that we've been able to give them, which is water play and a suitable amount of risk-taking in a large, expansive natural environment. And that connects to these internal spaces where I think at the child scale, they genuinely have ownership of their own environment as they get older within the building.
Fantastic. And is there anyone that you'd like to acknowledge or thank who was involved in this project?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people go to putting this together. So there's our team, myself, Joseph, Katie and Luke, who aren't in the room, and our builder, our consulting team, and most of all our client, who has been a huge support to us in this project and the many other projects that we've completed on this site. So to Mary Rice Early Learning and Nudgee College, thank you very much for the patronage.
Congratulations again to you, the team, your client, and of course, everyone who is involved in this project. I'll leave you now to enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Moving on to commercial architecture, supported by the Institute's national corporate partner, Lysart. And Matt Hardy has this message for tonight's entrance.
Hi Viv, hi everyone. On behalf of Lysart, I'd like to congratulate you all on your nominated projects. I'm sure the judges had a hard time reaching their decisions. I'd also like to thank you all for your ongoing support and consideration with Lysart products. In 2021, Lysart celebrates 100 years of manufacturing in Australia, and with the support of the AIA and you, the members, it will endure for another 100 years. Have a great night, best of luck, and now let's look at the nominees for commercial architecture.
"12 Creek Street, The Annex" by BVN. "The Eminence" by O'Neill Architecture. Byers Street by Cavill Architects and Hogg and Lamb. 111 Campbell Street by Sims White Architects. And Land 121 Facilities Project, Lavery Barracks by BVN. Thanks, Matt. A great range of projects, this time covering North Queensland, Darling Downs and West Moreton, and Brisbane. And in this category, the jury have awarded one commendation, one award, and the named award. A commendation for commercial architecture is awarded to 111 Campbell Street by Sims White Architects. Congratulations to Sims White Architects. The award for commercial architecture goes to Land 121 Facilities Project, Lavery Barracks by BVN. Described by the jury as a successful exercise of restraint and skilled delivery, this project skillfully transcends tightly regulated financial, functional and governmental design requirements to create well-balanced and humanised facilities to support the new vehicle fleet for the Australian Defence Force. A strict palette of low-maintenance materials and a suite of robust detailing is carefully deployed across 9 individual buildings with varied functions. The environmental performance of the buildings is commendable, emphasising mixed-mode cross-flow, natural lighting and responsive sun shading strategies. Congratulations once again to the team at BVN. And the Beatrice Hutton Award for Commercial Architecture, the highest honour in this category, goes to 12 Creek Street, The Annex, also by BVN. Situated at the gateway of Brisbane's Golden Triangle Business Precinct, The Annex exemplifies Brisbane City Centre Master Plan's vision of an open, vibrant city. The building's form, facade treatments, landscape and spatial structure celebrates the adjacent historical fig grove and Brisbane's wonderful subtropical climate. The tower form is grounded on a highly permeable public domain with plinths and seating arrangements that are 24/7 accessible, providing areas to eat, meet and connect. The landscape roof terrace provides a high-value amenity for users, as well as enhanced outlook for neighbouring buildings. Congratulations, BVN. And it's a very big night for BVN, and I'm joined once again by Kevin O'Brien. Kevin, congratulations.
Thank you, on behalf of the whole team.
Excellent, excellent. Now, I understand the idea of a vertical village was central to this project. Can you talk us through what that means here?
Yes, well, look, firstly, I have to be honest, I've only been on this project for a couple of years and it's been going for a lot longer than that. But I do know that over eight years, the project's been taking shape and form until the final thing's been built. But the three main things that were constituting the project is, apart from the urban villages, one was to activate the public realm at the ground plane. The second was to engage with landscape, whether it's the fig tree across the road or the new spaces made with localised landscape. And the third is to make a workplace that allows natural ventilation to occur.
And what kind of response have you had from the client to this project so far?
Well, look, the Dexys are very pleased with it. They're our client here. People are starting to move into the building, and I'm happy to say we're also moving into it very shortly, which has been a very exciting opportunity for all of us. But I think the activation on the ground plane is one of the most pleasing things so far, because we can actually see people using it on a daily basis when we walk into our own office. So seems to be a lot of smiles all around, which is great.
Well, that's certainly a comment that the jury picked up on, this blurring of the boundaries between public and private in this project. That's obviously part of what makes this project such a success, but what else do you think has made it a named award-winning project?
Look, I think it's probably something that Brian Donovan reminds us of, not just on this project, but all projects, is that what's the idea of the project and what are you doing to make it better, and what's in the best interest of the project. And I think the idea about activating the public realm, engaging with landscape, engaging with natural ventilation are ideas that can make it all the way through just an idea 8 years ago into documentation over the last 3 years into building, and then through a D&C process, and you can still get those ideas carried through. They might shift and change in their final outcome, but the ideas are still present. So if you pursue the ideas and not the ego, you can come up with some great things, I think.
And any final thoughts or anyone that you'd like to acknowledge in particular?
Oh, I better do the acknowledgements first. So obviously Brian Donovan, who is the lead principal on this, the team led by Lucas Leo and Michelle Wren, who also put up with me for a little while, and I guess obviously our client Dexys, but also Broad Construction, who not only built it in a record time, had to work under our constant gaze from level 4 onto the site so we could see everything every day. So that was quite an experience for us. But I think they're the big acknowledgements to make.
Excellent. Well, I will let you go now to enjoy the rest of the night, Kevin. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a great night.
All right. Thanks to the Institute. Bye now.
Nice work with the party poppers there, Petal Thorpe, thank you. The next category is educational architecture, where the regional juries shortlisted 13 projects. And to introduce the nominees, I'd like to hand over to State Juror Dirk Yates, who sent through this message.
Hi, and thanks, Viv. It's been enjoyable to be part of the awards jury this year. We've seen a good variety of educational projects that support developments in pedagogy, making considered responses to their urban environments, and that enhance opportunities for students and teachers within the community. So let's take a look at the projects considered.
Genesis Christian College STEM Building by McClellan Bush Architects. Brisbane Girls Grammar School Science Learning Centre by M3 Architecture. Indooroopilly State High School 6FC Building by Hayball. Mary Rice Early Learning Centre by M3 Architecture. Mod West, the University of Queensland by Drummond Architecture. Fortitude Valley State Secondary College by Cox Architecture. St Rita's College Trinity Centre by M3 Architecture. St Peter's Lutheran College Springfield Junior High Precinct by McClellan Bush Architects. Kurrajong Centre for Senior Learning the Springfield Anglican College by Fulton Trotter Architects. Pimlico SHS Music Centre by CA Architects. St Patrick's College East Precinct by M3 Architecture. Our Lady Help of Christians Catholic Primary School Innovated Learning Centre by Petal Thorpe Far North. And JCU Ideas Lab by Wilson Architects with Clark and Prince. Thank you, Dirk. A big range of projects indeed, and the jury was most impressed by this category. We have several announcements ahead. There are 4 commendations for educational architecture, which are awarded to St Patrick's College East Precinct by M3 Architecture. Mary Rice Early Learning Centre, also by M3 Architecture. Indrapilli State High School 6FC building by Hayball. And Currajong Centre for Senior Learning, the Springfield Anglican College by Fulton Trotter Architects. Congratulations to all the commendation recipients. And an award for educational architecture goes to JCU Ideas Lab by Wilson Architects with Clark and Prince. JCU Ideas Lab is a dramatic addition to the series of iconic buildings on the Cairns campus. The building is wrapped in a folded Teflon fabric that speaks to the innovation encouraged within the building. Although still in its infancy, it has already become a beacon for innovative collaboration in the region and is making a significant contribution to economic growth. Congratulations once again to the team at Wilson and Clark and Prince. The jury have also given an award for educational architecture to St Rita's College Trinity Centre by M3 Architecture. This 5-storey building is submerged into the southern side of the site with genuine consideration of its neighbours. The performing arts component of the building includes a state-of-the-art auditorium with a flat stage and natural light that enhance the multi-purpose nature of this room. With its comfortable, mature but playful interiors, the building meets the college's brief to celebrate and inspire its students. Congratulations to M3 Architecture. The third Educational Architecture Award goes to Brisbane Girls Grammar School Science Learning Centre, also by M3 Architecture. Despite its very prominent presence on the Brisbane skyline, this project has a quiet presence within the heritage context. The building offers a striking facade to the surrounding neighbourhood, while creating an intimate and inspiring space within the school that does what all good education buildings should do: invite inquiry and curiosity from the students. Congratulations once again to M3 Architecture. Quite a big night for the practice there. And the jury have awarded the highest honour in this category, the Jennifer Taylor Award for Educational Architecture 2. Fortitude Valley State Secondary College by Cox Architecture. Fortitude Valley State Secondary College is the first vertical school in Queensland, and the notion of the playful, imaginative treehouse is strongly evident in the massing and the individual pods to each floor. The abundance of the soft landscaping assists in blurring the boundaries between inside and out, while providing an opportunity for quiet, private space within the central open public spine. The jury was impressed by the strong connection the campus is making with its urban context, celebrating its location in the valley and utilising the wider city for educational opportunities. Congratulations, Cox Architecture. And it's back to the team at Cox Architecture, where I'm joined by Christine Cho and the team. Congratulations. Lovely to see you again, Christina. Now, I understand that Thomson Adset also worked with you closely on this project. Is that the case?
Yes, we had a really collaborative relationship. So Cox Architecture were the design architects, and we have Randall Williams here from Thomson Adset, who are the delivery architects.
Well, congratulations to all involved. Now, Christina, I read that this is Brisbane's only inner-city high school to open in the last 50 years. Is that the case?
That's right. It's the first inner-city school to be built in 50 years, but it's also Queensland's first true vertical school. So for us, the challenge was to set a really important benchmark for vertical learning in an urban and subtropical setting. And, you know, we took that challenge on. I think there's a really great balance of retaining the history that was on the site versus creating a new kind of contemporary pedagogy for education in Queensland.
And I understand that the school really wants to look at ways to embrace new methods of teaching and learning. How is this project helping them to do that?
I'm going to pass over to my colleague Stephen Harth, who is a project architect.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Thanks. Well, it's been fantastic to see the way the school has taken the building as their own, and they have a really innovative curriculum based on lots of project-based learning. They don't refer to rooms as science labs, etc. You can sort of teach any discipline in any space as it suits the task. So it's pretty fantastic to see how they're using the building.
And can you give me a sense of the community's response to this school? I have to admit, I had a bit of a look on the website and did see some photos, I believe, of opening day or something similar. The crowd looks pretty enthusiastic.
Yeah, I think the school was really designed to be part of its community and invite them in, and they have truly embraced it. It's only opened last year to its first intake of grade 7s, and now they've moved into grade 8, so now there's a new intake of grade 7. So there's a growing demand for the school because of their innovation in terms of their curriculum and also the amazing facilities that have been provided there.
And do you have a message for your client tonight?
Our client at the Department of Education, yes, thank you for taking the courage and trusting us to really challenge the standard typology of schools in Queensland, and we really hope that it does set a benchmark for buildings and education that are sustainable and really of context and really responds to the climate.
Excellent. And before I let you go to continue the celebrations, anyone that you'd like to acknowledge or thank?
Or I'd like to pass over to Randall to say a few words.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure working on this project. I think it's a real credit to Education Queensland, and it was kind of really raising the level of quality of design and budget and so on that they traditionally, it's no surprise that the majority of the other buildings that are up for awards were private facilities, but this is I think it's a real attempt by Education Queensland to kind of raise their game, I suppose, and compete directly with those private schools. And, they've obviously succeeded admirably.
Yeah. So thanks to the incredibly committed and dedicated team at Cox and Thompson Adset, to all our consultants, both on the design and delivery side, our clients at the department, to the incredible principal, Sharon Bark, and her team there for continuing the vision, and to Hutchinson Builders and the project managers as well.
Well, hear. Congratulations to all involved, and what a fantastic asset for education in Brisbane. A big shout out to the school and the students if they happen to be watching the stream. Who knows? Congratulations, guys. I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your night. Moving on to the residential architecture categories. And first up, we have multiple housing. Let's take a look at the 5 nominees from Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast. Alondra Residences by BVN. Cornwall Street Affordable Housing by KO & Co Architecture. Silk by Lucas Zahos Architects. Kuma Terrace by Open Architecture Studio and Jasper Brown Architects in association. And Door 42 by Push Architects. And in this category, the jury have awarded 2 commendations and the named award. The commendations for multiple housing go to Door 42 by Push Architects and Cornwall Street Affordable Housing by Co & Co Architecture. Congratulations to the teams at Push and Co & Co. And the highest honour in this category, the Job and Froud Award for Residential Architecture Multiple Housing goes to Alondra Residences by BVN. Designed for outdoor living and inspired by nature, the Alondra Residences aims to foster a sense of community living and active lifestyle for seniors within a visually connected garden setting. Lush gardens extend vertically on every level through the central green spine, offering interstitial spaces for social interaction and retreat. This is a good example of the vertical small house model, targeted at new consumers in retirement living, who are accustomed to a higher standard of living compared with generations past. These subtropical homes are bright, airy and built for residents to age in place, with all apartments designed to exceed livable housing design guidelines gold standard. Congratulations once again to BVN. And it's back to BVN HQ, where I am joined now by Terry Braddock. Terry, congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Well, firstly, how does it feel to receive the named award in this category? A very challenging typology a lot of the time.
Well, look, it's a very nice surprise. I'm never going to take Eloise on a game of poker ever again because I never expected this.
Right, okay. Well, now look, the jury were effusive in their praise for this project, and in particular the way it connects with the outdoors. It seems to be a very Queensland and Queensland lifestyle focused kind of project. Can you talk us through what was involved in responding to the brief?
Well, look, first I'll give credit to Lutheran Services. It's amazing. It's a huge step for them to move forward to do this sort of architecture. They stepped outside their comfort zone and they've taken up a vertical model, and within that their motto is about taking care of the community as a whole. So the whole project is based around creating a community within a vertical typology, and key to that is about creating houses and gardens up in the air.
And I understand this is stage one of a master planned urban village, is that right? Is this just the beginning of what we might see in future?
It is. It sets up an urban structure on the street for 2 future stages on the other side of the road. And there's the opportunity to create a larger town square precinct within the Nunda village.
And can I ask what you and the team enjoyed most about taking on this project?
Look, it was going on a journey with Lutheran Services. So they set out at the beginning doing market research and engaging with the public to find out what they wanted to have in this type of building. And they took their time considering that and finding out what the people wanted. So we came on that journey with them. And developed up a model which has got some differences within it to what you typically see in the market. So that's what we mostly enjoy.
And have you had any feedback from Lutheran Services about the response to the project?
They love it, absolutely. So yes, and they're very excited moving forward as well.
Excellent. And is there anyone that you'd like to acknowledge or thank who was involved in this project?
Absolutely. So I've mentioned Lutheran Services and Jacqueline Kelly that stepped forward on this journey. Internally within BVN, it's obviously a much bigger team than just me. Mark Grimmer, Hayley Sainsbury and Chi Tang worked hard on the project. And there's a whole team behind that as well with Willems the Builders and the consultant team as well.
Wonderful. Well, look, thanks so much for joining us, Terry. I heard the cheer when the announcement was made, so I'll let you get back to the party and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks very much.
Hi, I'm Joel. This is Chloe.
We're Alcorn Middleton and you're watching the Queensland Architecture Awards.
Thanks, Alcorn Middleton. And now to residential architecture, alterations and additions. There are 6 projects in the running. Let's take a look. Clayfield Fern House by Paul Butterworth Architect. The Terrace by Sean Lockyer Architects. Poinciana House by Nielsen Jenkins. Beck Street by Lineberg Wang. Toowong Lighthouse by Alcorn Middleton. And Paddington Courtyard House by Archie. 6 great nominees, and the jury have awarded 2 commendations, 1 award and the named award in this category. Commendations for residential architecture, alterations and additions are awarded to Poinciana House by Nielsen Jenkins and The Terrace by Sean Lockyer Architects. Congratulations, Nielsen Jenkins and Sean Lockyer Architects. An award for residential architecture, alterations and additions goes to Clayfield Fern House by Paul Butterworth Architect. The Clayfield Fern House reconceptualises the ubiquitous strategy of adding a back deck to a traditional Queenslander. The refurbishment makes simple adjustments to the planning of the house that provide significant improvements to amenity within the scale of the existing structure and there is a delightful play of light and shadow in the addition that is reminiscent of traditional fern houses, familiar in subtropical gardens, celebrated here in an inventive and unique outdoor living room. Congratulations, Paul Butterworth, architect. And the jury have awarded the highest honour in this category, the Alina Mottram Award for Residential Architecture Houses, Alterations and Additions to Beck Street by Lineberg Wang. The Beck Street residence makes an intriguing delight of the building's location in a flood-prone area, while enhancing the qualities of an existing 1960s brick and hardwood framed home. Defined with a palette of red and terracotta, the base is cool and robust, moderating the light and temperature in an inventive and very effective response to Brisbane's subtropical climate. In addition to the sophisticated strategy in managing the site's ground plane, details are striking in their simplicity and nuance, enhancing the functional needs of a home that is a delight to reside in. Congratulations, Lineberg Wang. And I'm joined now by Michael Lineberg and Lynn Wang. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, I can't believe it's a year since I called you guys for this named award in this category and you were at Happy Boy having dinner with someone. Had to haul you out of the restaurant.
You have a good memory.
One of my favourite crosses of 2020. There are 120 to choose from as well, so you guys are doing well. Now, right, to the matter at hand, this is an absolutely extraordinary project. Can you give us a bit of insight? We heard a little bit in the jury citation there, but a bit about the brief.
Yeah, the clients lived in an apartment, and they purchased the site so that they could have a backyard and also be in the Rosalie community and be close to schools. So, but the site being in a flood-prone area and also overland flow, if we had have removed the existing home and built a new building on that site, it would have either resulted in due to the site constraints, a very tall, large building to the street, or if we kept it low, it would have basically filled the site cover and they would have not gotten a backyard. So the project explored retaining the existing home, retaining obstacles on the site, existing walls on the site, which then allowed us to minimise the footprint of the site with the proposed work, and then therefore enable outdoor amenity and retain a backyard for the clients. That's the fundamental manoeuvre, I guess, that we were making.
Right, complex brief. And can I ask, how have the clients responded?
I believe that they're delighted. They are using the pizza oven and the plants are doing well. There's lots of herbs growing in the yard. So, I mean, I believe they're enjoying it, yeah, and enjoying the community that they're surrounded by too.
And I guess, if the last year and a bit has taught us anything, it's about, I guess, the value of a place to call home and a comfortable place to be in these challenging times. Can I ask, what do you enjoy most about being able to work on these kinds of residential projects that give people that sense of, I guess, comfort?
It's an incredibly personal thing that we're delivering for each client. So the enjoyable part is really the process of designing closely with the client and understanding them over a long period of time. A lot of strong thank you to the clients with this one, because it was difficult. It was a difficult process for them with having a difficult site. So they really had to stand by the process, and they really did champion the project. So a special thanks to Liz, Cam, Macy and Will, the family, who enabled the project to happen. And then, of course, thanks to the Institute and the jury members, because it's always lovely to actually talk architecture with the jury members. But as well, we should probably thank the consultants, especially PPA, the town planners, and the stormwater consultants, the civil engineers, stormwater consulting, who just in particular, those consultants enabled the project as well through council and worked hard through the process. And of course, Struss Construction, the builder, to actually build it.
Always a good thing. Lynn, is there anything you'd like to add before I let you guys go to enjoy the celebrations?
Just want to say thanks to Cavill Architects for hosting us. It's we find ourselves with the same crowd as last year, and it's nice to be offered a place and to be able to celebrate with colleagues.
Excellent. Oh, look, well done. And of course, there's the party coming up for the members on Saturday night. I don't know if you have plans to go to that, but I think the celebrations will be continuing over the weekend.
Definitely.
All right. Well, on that note, I'll let you guys go.
Thank you. Good to chat.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And we will be back with the next round of announcements, Houses New, after these messages from the award sponsors.
Field is made.
Made for the contemporary. Made for imagination.
Made for style.
Fielder's Made. Made for inspiration.
For more than 130 years, Bosch has designed products that spark enthusiasm, improve quality of life, and help conserve natural resources. We have built our reputation on design, quality, reliability, trust, and sustainability. In short, we want to create technology that is invented for life. With more than 200 international design awards attained over the past 5 years, Bosch is the clear leader in home appliances. Outstanding design requires both great form and function. For home appliances, invented for life means giving people peace of mind for their daily life at home.
Now you can easily bring your projects to life with Dulux BIM Solutions. Dulux BIM Solutions provides easy-to-use BIM content, so you can add Dulux colours and product ranges to your Revit and ArchiCAD models quickly and simply. The latest Dulux BIM content update now includes the Dulux World of Colour and product ranges from Dulux powder coatings, protective coatings, Acrotex and Intergrain timber finishes. Dulux BIM Solutions, inspiring creativity.
The Built Environment Channel is a media platform to support the architecture and construction industry.
It means that we can connect with a whole lot of people outside our office, all around the world, all day, anytime.
You receive a premium screen which silently broadcasts your work, inspiring examples of great design and important industry news. All of this is at no cost to you.
For us, it's really about no more scrolling through endless content. It's literally front and centre for everyone here at K2LD.
Hutchies lives here. From big cities to regional centres and the smallest rural towns. We've been building the places Australians live, work, study, shop and play for over 100 years. When we go to a new region, we stick around. Local people, local supplies, local community. Hutchinson Builders, your truly local national builder.
And now to the final category in residential architecture, Houses New. Let's take a look at the 11 nominees across Brisbane, Central and Far North Queensland, the Gold Coast and Northern Rivers, and the Sunshine Coast. Riverbank House by Wilson Architects. Baker Boys Beach House by Refresh Design. Mount Kuthar House by Nielsen Jenkins. Twin Houses by John Elway. Our House Wandle by Design Plus Architecture and N. Veenstra. Las Palmas by Tim Ditchfield Architects. Bal Harbour by DM2 Architecture. Long Road House by James Russell Architect. Hay House by Williamson Architecture. Big Small House by Pod, People-Oriented Design. And Blue Lagoon Residence by CA Architects. Well, what a field! In this category, the jury have awarded 3 commendations, 2 awards and the named award. The commendations for residential architecture Houses New are awarded to Las Palmas by Tim Ditchfield Architects, Twin Houses by John Elway, and Baker Boys Beach House by Refresh Design. Congratulations to the teams. The first award for residential architecture Houses New goes to Long Road House by James Russell Architect. Situated at the southern edge of Tamborine Mountain, bordering a subtropical rainforest and creek, the delight of this dwelling is the composition of a set of spaces that are more veranda-like in their method of enclosure, screening and occupation than conventional rooms. The materials and form of the house is reminiscent of a farmhouse or rural shed that has been adapted with camping techniques that improve the mediation of the environment while being economically constructed and simply connected to the site. Congratulations, James Russell Architect. And the jury have also given an award in this category too. Mount Kuthar House by Nielsen Jenkins. Set on a steep bushland block of a dry eucalypt forest, this project is embedded with ideas of connection and refuge. A lush green courtyard is formed between living spaces that is consistent with the volumes of the interior spaces, while the relatively prosaic materials of concrete block and galvanised steel are employed in an economical construction method, eschewing bespoke details in favour of crafted volumes, the control of daylight and integration of landscape in the design. Congratulations once again to Nielsen Jenkins. And the highest honour in this category, the Robin Dodds Award for Residential Architecture Houses New, goes to Riverbank House by Wilson Architects. Positioned high on the edge of the St Lucia reach of the Brisbane River, the Riverbank House is orchestrated between the steep landscape of the river edge and a private courtyard for a family in a suburban setting. Large concrete walls define a cavernous territory through the site that gives a distinctive form to the house and north-facing courtyard. Cool, protected, and with a direct connection to the landscape, the home's lower level is reminiscent of the understory of a high-set Queenslander. A timber brise-soleil wraps the elevated bedrooms, modulating daylight and privacy, making a distinct presentation of the family home to the street. Congratulations, Wilson Architects. And it's back to the team at Wilson Architects. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's an extraordinary honour.
Sorry, Hamilton, go ahead.
It probably explains now why this team's here. So that we were, Maddie has been on maternity leave, and we decided that it's too good a night not to bring her back. So we sort of have coalesced back into the office for the evening.
Excellent. Congratulations, Maddie. As the citation was playing, I saw Hamilton lean over and say, "That's you." I understand you were heavily involved in this project, as was Nick Lawrence, who I understand is next to you.
That's right, yep.
All right. Well, I understand from the jury citation that this is obviously an extraordinary site. Can you give us a bit of background as to what you encountered when you were first engaged by the clients to work on this project?
Well, if I could just relay a little bit of a story here, that this is the second time we work with our clients, and their first house tragically burnt down. And so they spent a long time searching for a new site. And we were very much a participant in that journey as well. And so as soon as that site presented itself, the actual landscape is the hero of the house. It's not the house. In fact, we always thought had to be subservient to it. So it's an extraordinary location in Brisbane, and it's one of the few remnant forests on the riverbank in West End and it has extraordinary views to the uncovered views to the north as well. So it is a remarkable position.
And can I ask how much or how integral was it to the brief that the clients gave you to have that extraordinary connection between inside and out?
It wasn't implicit, but I think the clients, they had a strong idea for the utility of the house and also for the feel of the house. But testament to them as well, they gave us the latitude to explore those ideas much further. And one of the main ideas, as Hamilton said, was to give continuity of the landscape to the front of the house and to the extraordinary rear of the house, which sort of flips the traditional model where the rear of the house feels like it's the front and the front yard is almost like the backyard.
And how have the clients responded to this project? What kind of feedback have they given you?
Well, they're watching right now because I spoke to them just a short while ago, and I know they love the house. They love the garden. I suspect slightly more than the house, but I can't imagine why you wouldn't, because they now spend a lot of their time remediating the bank, the riverbank, and to bring it back into back to what it could have been originally.
And great that they're watching. A big shout out to the clients. Do you have a message for them tonight?
Maddie.
Well, I guess this project has been a bit of a labour of love for all of us, and I think we couldn't have done it without their amazing dedication to us and our vision for the project, and just being on board with it from the very beginning. And yeah, they've been amazing clients.
This project had all the right ingredients: a great site, a really good client who was happy to indulge their architect and have the patience to do so.
Yeah, and when it came to value managing and value management, we did. We collectively didn't let go of what we felt was the higher value elements of the house. So it was testament to them that they saw what actually did have value and
persevered with that.
And to wrap up, Maddie, any final words or any other acknowledgements on this project?
I just like to thank my team and Hamilton and Nick for working together with us. We've worked really hard to get it to where it is.
And it was testament to the builder. They were equal and up for the task as well, and also our other consultants that we work with. It was a real collaborative effort. We can't take all the credit, and we include the clients in with that as well, because they equally part to the vision.
Wonderful. Well, look, congratulations to you guys once again on your second named award of the evening, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Certainly will now. Thank you.
Hi, we're Wilson Architects, and you're watching the Queensland Architecture Awards.
Thanks to Wilson Architects for that shout out, and congratulations once again. And now to the final category of the evening, public architecture, supported by chapter partner Hutchinson Builders. And Scott Hutchinson has sent through this message introducing the 6 nominees in this category.
Thanks, Viv. We're really proud to be supporting this category, and on behalf of Hutchinson Builders, I'd just like to wish all the entrants the best of luck. And now let's roll with the nominations.
Surgical Treatment and Rehabilitation Service, STARS by Hassel. Qantas Founders Museum Longreach Air Park Project by the NRA Collaborative. Waltzing Matilda Centre by Cox Architecture. The Mercy Centre Mater Private Hospital Townsville by Peddle Thorpe. Queensland Country Bank Stadium by Cox Architecture and Counterpoint Architecture in association. And Cairns Performing Arts Centre by CA Architects and Cox Architecture in collaboration. Thanks, Scott, and a great spread of projects across Queensland there. In this category, the jury have awarded 2 commendations, 1 award and the named award. Commendations for public architecture are awarded to Queensland Country Bank Stadium by Cox Architecture and Counterpoint Architecture in association. And Surgical Treatment and Rehabilitation Service, STARS by Hassel. Well done to Cox, Counterpoint and Hassel. An award for public architecture goes to Waltzing Matilda Centre by Cox Architecture. The Waltzing Matilda Centre has surpassed the client's expectations and once again put Winton firmly on the traveller's map, the dramatic form embracing its important location on the main street. The raw, earthy expression through both materials and form reflects the harsh and dramatic landscape that inspired Patterson and continues to amaze all those who visit. While the story of water and geological formations is represented through the architecture by sophisticated abstraction and rich interiors. Congratulations once again to Cox Architecture. And the jury have awarded the highest honour in this category, the FDG Stanley Award for Public Architecture to Cairns Performing Arts Centre by CA Architects and Cox Architecture in collaboration. CPAC delivers a state-of-the-art building that reflects the city's commitment to delivering the best for the Cairns and Far North Queensland community. The complex and highly technical building creates unprecedented and functional flexibility to support not only more performances, but more variety in the type of performances. The building is undeniably of its place, reflecting the colours, filtered light, lush vegetation and lifestyle of the wet tropics. The jury applauds this project as a significant cultural asset for a city, a public building that will enable more cultural experiences as well as economic growth. Congratulations, CA Architects and Cox Architecture in collaboration. And I'm delighted to be joined now by the teams, both teams, Carlo Amirio from CA Architects and of course Richard Coulson and the team at Cox Architecture. Congratulations to you both.
Where are we?
Woohoo! Okay, now, Carlo, if I may, I'd like to start with you. Can I ask you first, how much of a game changer is this project for Cairns?
The CPAC Cairns Performing Arts is an amazing facility for Cairns. It has created an avenue for, for locals, state, international entertainers to come in and entertain this facility. It's a state-of-the-art facility, which can compete with any facility in the regional centres. Yeah.
Excellent. And Richard, if I can go to you now, I understand from the jury citation that this work, as an example of fantastic public architecture, engages not only with the local community, but more broadly with the region, including the Torres Strait. Can you talk to us a little bit about how this project achieves that?
Yes, thank you, Viv. There's a great history of performance from the Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander communities in Far North Queensland and stretching out to the Pacific as well. And so what this facility does is allow opportunities for performance, but also for career growth in managing performance and working back of house, which wasn't necessarily present in the existing region of Cairns.
And I understand there's also the integration of some extraordinary artwork as well in this project?
Yeah, that's right. So we
there is.
We stretched
up to the artwork. I mean,
go for it.
Is Richard answering?
I'll go to Carlo for that one. Carlo, if you can tell us a bit about the artwork.
Where is Richard?
Carlo, would you like to tell us a bit about the artwork?
Not really.
Oh, okay. I heard you cut it. I was trying to give you an opportunity. All right. Well, Carlo, I might then ask you if it's all right. Can I ask what the legacy, or what you hope the legacy will be for this project?
The legacy in terms of, I think it's a leader. It's an exemplar project for Cairns, and I think it'll actually create an enormous community enormous community, usage of the facility, and I think it's a game changer for Cairns, as we said initially, in terms of putting us on the map, in terms of having major facilities in this area. Yes.
Fantastic. All right, and back to the Cox team, where I think things are getting rowdy because of Eskimo Cho roaming around. There's something's going on there. So Richard, back to you just for some closing comments, if that's all right, on this project for us.
Yeah, I think it's an extremely ambitious project for the City Council, and they were leaders here in not only producing this building, but the adjacent Munro Martin Parklands that offered a fantastic range of facilities for the community there. So, hats off to them. Incredible work in delivery by FKG. And yeah, there really does seem that this has assisted the sense of spirit in Cairns. Tough times for Cairns in COVID world and with tourism, etc. And, a space for people to collaborate around, space that feels like it is of Cairns, it has a tropical quality to it, is about engaging with landscape. It feels like it hit the spot.
It certainly did, and the jury obviously thought so. So congratulations once again to the Cox team and also to your partners, CA Architects, and also the people of Cairns. What an extraordinary gift to them. And on that note, I will leave you both to enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
And that brings the Queensland Architecture Awards to a close. But there are more announcements coming shortly at the Queensland Members event this Saturday night. And they are the Enduring Architecture Award, the Queensland Art and Architecture Award, and of course, the Queensland Architecture Medal. If you're not a Queensland member or can't make it to the event, check out the Queensland chapter's website and Instagram to find out the recipients of these prestigious awards. And to all the members who'll be there, have a great time. I'd like to congratulate not only all the commendation and award recipients, but all the members who entered the 2021 awards. And, of course, the clients who commissioned the outstanding projects we've seen tonight across the state. And thanks to the corporate partners and sponsors for their ongoing support of the Institute and the awards program. It's great you could be part of the show this evening. And a reminder that tomorrow we're off to the Northern Territory for the Architecture Awards, always a hoot, and you can also join us next week for the New South Wales Architecture Awards. So get ready to charge your glasses once again and have a few great nights in as the celebration of Australian architecture continues. In the meantime, thanks for joining me. It's been a pleasure to be your host once again. Have a great night.
The 2021 Queensland Architecture Awards are proudly supported by BlueScope, Dulux, Brickworks, Lysart, Fielders, Bondor, Bosch, Built Environment Channel, NBS, Plant Cover, Architecture Media, as well as Queensland chapter partner Hutchinson Builders.